Comedy Jonah.
Hey,
Hi. Welcome.
welcome to you.
I want to say to you that I'm so happy that you're here in front of your green screen.
It is. It's green. It
It's
doesn't look
green and it's
green,
a
but it's
screen.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
natural.
I want to let everybody know to make sure that wherever you guys are watching, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. It's a great way to help support our shows, as is sharing them. Tell a friend, tell a family member, put it in a Facebook group. You guys know the deal. Of course, you can tweet us anytime using hashtag YRRLive, or you can check out the last 10 years of our shows over at yourrealityrecaps.com. Now, I am so excited to introduce our guest today, John. It is the Britney that we all can love from this season. The one, the only, Britini!
Yay!
Yo, I'm dead.
Gotta
Oh
love a
my-
Britney.
The Britney we love from the start of season 23, right?
You guys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to talk more about this season. Y'all know that I am a super fan of the show through and through. So I'm just really excited to like dive in deep and just talk more analytics of the season, kind of how we're all feeling. And that was very kind of you to say also. Thank you. But no, this season has been nuts. It's the best way you can put it. It's been nuts.
See, now, Brittany, here's the thing. We've been talking about the season all season. I say, screw talking about the season, because you are one of the only people that love my favorite thing in the whole entire world other than Big Brother. And that's all I really want to talk to you about.
Okay.
But I know it. No, I know everybody would kill me, but do you have any guesses what it is?
That I love that is it Disney?
Yes.
Oh, I'm obsessed. Let's talk about it. I'm
No,
so obsessed.
chat would kill me, but I want you to know I look at your Disney World things all the time and I'm just like, I wish.
No, you know what? It's so funny because I've been going to Disney World. It's so like everyone always asks me like, why is Disney World so significant to you? And the reason is after I was diagnosed, like I couldn't go to like a restaurant or like public places with my family because I couldn't handle the social pressures and the social like stimulators of like an environment. And so going to Disney was the exact opposite because I was not the hindrance, I was the star. And so that's why like my family went to Disney World every single year was because that was the vacation I could handle because they made me the star of the week. And so that's why like everyone's like, oh my God, why do you love Disney? Like that's why I love Disney so much is because that's one of the places where I can handle the social stimulations that I'm seeing around me
And be you. And be you.
myself at the same time. And like,
And
I don't have to like, my family isn't inconvenienced. I'm not inconvenienced. We're able to have the best time. So it works really, really well.
Mine's the prices. Mine's the prices. It's just very expensive. But you know, Brittany, when I grew up, I used to go to my grandparents' house. My grandmother lived 6 miles from Disneyland in Anaheim. I'm from Southern California. And my grandmother was the lead cook, the lead chef for Disneyland, like in the 70s. So I got to go all the time. I got the coupon books because everything was paper back then. Yeah, so I went to Disneyland a lot.
That's amazing. I'm actually going back to Disneyland next week with Azza.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a little best friend trip. So she has been. I love Azza so dearly. She's my best friend through and through. But she will also say the same thing. She's been dogging me about how much I've been going to Disney World and Land for months now. Ever since we got off the show, every time I'm in Disney World, she's like, "You're back. You're there again." Yes. It's like an ongoing joke between the two of us. And so now she's experiencing it for the first time with me, which a lot of the BB23 cast members have been able to do because we all went together at Hearts. But she was not there because she came in later. So now she's going to experience what this feels like.
Well, my two comments, Brittany, are what you just said really touched me because that is the exact same reason why Disney World has always been so important to me.
Yeah.
Basically the same exact situation. And the only part that I'm going to disagree with you on is I think Disneyland is a garbage pail on the side of the road and no one should ever waste their money going to it. Anyway, let's talk about Big Brother.
Okay, well here's my thing. The first time I went to Disneyland was 2017. I obviously am gonna have a bias towards World because that's my home park. But
Yeah, obviously,
I
and it's
will
better.
say that Land, I mean, I like the fact that Land has some rides that we don't though. Like I like the fact that I get to go to Land and like there's a dark ride for Alice in Wonderland.
Right.
And the dark ride is still there for Snow White. And that they have like there's different rides and like the Matterhorn's there. And
It's
then
the
they've got
original Matterhorn.
the original Matterhorn. But actually we don't
Okay.
have a Matterhorn in
Oh.
World.
No, we don't. You know what I don't love about Disneyland? When you go up on one of the rides and then you see the street, or when you go to the parking lot and you're robbed. It's in the middle of nowhere. I shouldn't walk out the front gates of Disneyland and see Arby's. What is happening? No, Disney World is correct, and let's not even pretend. I get it. California, have your oceans, have your weather, have everything. You don't have the better Disney. I know you need to lie to yourselves.
When you walk out the exit, you can see an IHOP.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, what is happening? This is no.
Pay better prices for food. That's why
Please,
they're all
give me a
there around
break.
Disneyland.
Give me a
expensive.
break.
Now, Brittany, what about places like Universal Studios and all of that
Okay.
stuff? Do you like those?
So Universal, I actually couldn't do for the longest time because they didn't have a fast pass. And they didn't offer one for disability access for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I remember I went when I was like 8. And the line for ET was like 4 hours, and it was the most awful 4-hour wait for my family. Like my mother was waiting for me, like my family would take shifts.
Never.
It was the worst. So now going back, they do have a disability pass, so now I can actually go ride rides in Universal. And I
Mhm.
will say I've been to Universal a couple times now. I really do like it. It's different.
Yeah.
I need to go to it more to like experience it more, but I do appreciate how different Universal is, and I think that I will love it even more the more that I go.
Yeah, I'm going at
This-
the end of next month to Universal
Okay.
Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. I mean the Harry Potter world is sick. The Hagrid ride is unbelievable. Gringotts, that ride is amazing. The Velocicoaster, your butt always comes out that seat and it scares you so much until it doesn't. I always ride ET because that's like a familial thing. Like I have to go on the bike and I have to ride the ride that I rode when I was 8, the only ride that I remember. But I do love Universal. It's a great park.
Yay. Well, I think we have successfully annoyed chat. However, I say when we do a podcast, because, you know, Comedy Joan and I are thinking of bringing the podcast back, I
Yeah.
think we need to have a very Disney special with Britney.
Oh, 100%. Oh, I'm down. I mean, that's not
Right.
even a question. I could talk about Disney World for hours. So we're here.
I don't know if John's invited, but let's talk. He's not a fan. He doesn't like children unless he's, you know, boiling them in a pot and eating them.
Or they're cooking or serving for me.
Right. He doesn't like kids things. Anywho, let's talk about this season of Big Brother. Now, Brittany, like you said, what I love about you is that you are so passionate about Big Brother. You are watching the feeds. You are in it. You know it all. Now, are you caught up with what happened today on the feeds? The Monty and Turner conversation.
Yes, and I'm not very happy about it.
Well, who would be?
I just like, it's just very, oh my God. I had this glimmer of hope for Monty, and then like this hope was like absolutely dashed for Monty. I'm like, my whole thing is like, I don't know. The thing that I've been trying to wrestle with all day is like, did he actually mean it, what he said to Turner, or is he saying it for face? That's my biggest question. Either way, though, I'm not okay with him even saying it and being like, yeah, like I had an urge. Basically, essentially saying I used Taylor, but I'm still going to take you.
Yes, 100%. He said,
like,
I'm using Taylor for sex, but I'm taking you.
But like,
That's how I took
my whole
it.
thing is like, I don't care if whether that's true or not. The fact that you can say those words I have no words for that besides like, it feels gross.
Yeah.
It feels gross. It is gross. Let's just be real. I don't know. That really put a sour taste in my mouth today. And I was like, wow.
But do we really think Taylor is going to be all that upset? I mean, she's really wanting Britney kind of in the final two because she knows she can beat her. And even tonight on the episode, she says, Monty I'll take him out on a date after I win the money.
Yeah, but you know what, though? My whole thing is, unfortunately for Taylor, she's not going to get that opportunity for Britney to go to that Final Four, Final Three.
Yeah.
It's not even going to happen for her because Britney's going on Thursday. So right now, what I'm more fearful for Taylor is, number one, Taylor has to look back and see all the things that Monty said about her weeks 1, week 2, and so on. And then now she has to realize this conversation that she had the day after they had sex. Didn't know. I didn't know if we were allowed to say that on here, but then I remember.
Yes, have sex. Yes, they have.
Penetration.
I won't tell you what Ozza called it on this show.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because I just forgot if we were allowed to say it, but then you said it, so I was
yeah, we can.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, but no, literally the day after them having sex, he then says this about her. Yeah. And then my biggest fear now is like, I need Taylor to win this final HOH because God forbid if it gets in Monty's hands and Monty picks Turner, Taylor's going to look at him like, what? And then that's going to hurt her even more. Unless a conversation happens in the next week where like it's clarified. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'll be very honest with you.
I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen. Well, now, there was another discrepancy earlier today because, we've been waiting for Britney to make her M&M pitch. Did you see how she has all the M&Ms in the Ziploc bag? Okay, so we're not sure if she did it when the feeds were down because she kind of said she was going to do it, and then the feeds went down, and we're not sure if she did it. So I don't know if that's going to convince Monty at all, but if we're believing what Monty said tonight, he said, I know I have a better chance of winning against Britney, but I know Turner will take me there. Exactly. And I think that is the age-old question for everyone playing Big Brother. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's, do I make the moves to get me to Final Two, or do I make the move to help me win if I get in Final Two? And I guess you have to get there first, so that's your priority.
Well, the whole thing is right now, if Monty gets out Britney, he has 2 people that are guaranteeing taking him to Final Two. If Monty sends Turner home, he's doing Taylor's work because then Taylor's getting sent to the Final Two with both Britney and with Monty. So, I mean, I understand I understand Monty's reason for wanting to get rid of Britney. Taylor's my girl. In my head, like, Monty said a statement that he was like to Taylor when they were talking by themselves, and he was like, I'm going to take you over Turner because if I lose and the first black woman wins this game, I have no problem taking the L. And to me, that was like a wow. Like, yes. Like I would love to see that Final Two with Monty and Taylor in there because honest to God, I don't know how the votes would fall. If that was the way, it would really depend on who took out Turner. I have a feeling all the girls would go for Taylor. A lot of the guys would go Monty, and I feel like Joseph or Michael would be a swing. But, like, that would be a very, very close vote between the 2 of them.
I feel like Taylor has her 2 lawyers in Joseph and Michael in there to plead her defense. So I think she'll be just fine.
No, I think Joseph, attorney at law.
Attorney at law.
Joseph, attorney at law. You have to say the whole name. Tiff said it best. You have to say Joseph, attorney at law.
Attorney at law. Yeah.
Michael, attorney at law. No, you know what though? I mean, if the whole thing is they're obviously going to, this Final Three is going to be stacked. I mean, all 3 of them have had a different path to the Final Three. Weirdly enough, saying that they were all in the same alliance together and kind of had similar paths, but they all did have a different path to the Final Three. And they all have stuff on their resume that's going to need to be warranted in terms of conversation. So I know they're all going to weigh it out. My fear, though, is that there are going to be some bitter jurors in terms of, like, they're going to want to go on emotion rather than logic of the game. Indeed. And I think that's where, like, Joseph and Michael's and, like, even though I know Michael wanted to win this game, but I know he's going to want to pick the best winner. I know that Joseph's going to want to pick the best winner. I hope they all do. because even as a previous juror, all you want to do is pick the best winner. That's all you want to do. You want to make sure the best person that played the best game represents your season. And you have to put all feelings aside in order to do that. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Do you think the girls, I mean, they were kind of mean to Taylor at the beginning of the season. Do you think if Taylor's sitting next to Monty that Taylor has the girls' votes? Do you think
I think Taylor's got 4 guaranteed, yeah. Well, because if you listen to a lot of their exit interviews, everyone kept raving about Taylor. Alyssa said that she's got Taylor's.
Well, you think maybe they might have been told, hey,
okay, well,
hi, it's PR, and we would just like to give you a little heads up.
Well, here's my thing. I mean, I can only speak on my prior experience. In terms of exit interviews, PR never gave me any heads up. They said, here are your interview questions, go. Like, you don't really get a heads up. You just kind of get the questions. And from the questions, you can kind of infer a couple things, but, like, you don't get, like, a bump. I mean, I can't speak for what happened this season, but I know for me, I never got a bump and said, like, hey, talk about this or this kind of thing. I will say, I think, obviously, in my head, if I think back to the game, the girls formed girls, right? They obviously had a bond and wanted a female to sit in the final 2. Alyssa said it in with Julie. With having no prior knowledge, being like, if Britney and Taylor are in those final 2, I got to give them a vote because I want to see a girl in those final 2 chairs. So I think Alyssa's got a vote. I think Britney would vote for her, 100%. I think that Jasmine, I think Indy would vote for her. I think Jasmine votes for her. I think that's 4 already. And all she would need is 1 more. And I think that comes with either Michael or Joseph. She has it. She's got it with either one of them. I mean, I think, like I said, it really is going to come down to who knocks out Turner. Whose move is that? Who brings who? Because I guess that's my biggest question right now is if Taylor brings Monty, Taylor's got it in the bag. If Monty brings Taylor, it's a lot closer for me.
You think it matters? I think right now, if like we just waved a magic wand, or we didn't even tell the jury, we just showed them the final 2 people, I don't think they care at all who did what to get where. I think everyone in that jury right now has a very specific way they feel about Taylor, Monty, Turner, and Britney, and they would vote according to that. I don't even think at this point. I mean, sure, if you would say, I won everything. I won HOH, POV, part 1, part 2, then yeah, I'm sure that would have some weight. But if it's all just kind of spread out, I don't really know how much that would influence them.
Yeah.
I think to your point, and this has been my biggest problem with Monty and Turner the past few weeks, is they lie so personally for no reason. Monty saying, I want you to be the first black female winner. Turner just lying to Alyssa endlessly all week. I swear on my life, I'm taking you. It's me and you. Of course I'm bringing you. Or of course I'm voting to say it. Like, these are just needless lies in a final 5-4 scenario where you're just creating you're just creating a bitter juror against you for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
No reason.
No, you know what, too? I will say I do 100% see your point, and I think that could be true. The only reason why I'm kind of playing devil's advocate in terms of the jury is because last year, I remember in our jury, it was X, Derek, F, and Azza. And I remember the conversation because there were definitely pro-Azza people in the jury, and there were those that were not going to give her a vote. The verdict was, had Azza taken out X, that was going to change a bunch of people's viewpoints on Azza's game. So I say that in terms of, like, it can make a difference. I think for all 3 of them, they have enough on their resume at this point, but Turner is a huge threat. And if you take Turner out, that's a move. If you're sending him to if you're sending him to jury as the last jury member, in my head, I have to consider that.
Who do you think wins? I see a lot of people in chat asking, who do you think wins if it's Monty and Turner?
Monty and Turner, Monty.
You do think it's Monty,
no,
even though you think Turner has a better resume.
You know, here's my thing though. Turner has made more people upset. Monty hasn't been put in a position to make a lot of people upset. And Monty has had to his credit, he's had a very strong social game. He really hasn't pissed anybody off too harshly. I think I don't know why. Like, I just feel like no one's really. I maybe they'll touch on this more in the roundtable if we get to see it because they barely showed anything about jury. But I don't know if they. I don't know. Like Turner would have to explain a lot about his game. I feel like the jury right now doesn't really understand the fullness of the game that Turner's playing, and I feel like he's going to be the one to explain it. Monty, on the other hand, doesn't need to explain it because I feel like everybody kind of understands his game and they understand where he's at. And the fact that he has been seen as a threat for so long and he's still in the house and he's going to hit a final two chair, he's going to hit a final two chair no matter what. If you think about it, he's got a rope there no matter what right now. So,
I mean, pushing all the stuff that's happened like with Kyle, with everything and the Cookout 2.0. I mean, Kyle and Joseph, they're going to compare notes. They're going to realize, Turner really turned on the leftovers. Do you think, if Turner's sitting in final two, he gets some of those questions? Do you think he's going to be able to talk around that? I mean, he really kind of portrayed the leftovers blatantly.
You know what though? Turner is very. I mean, as we've seen this season, Turner can talk his way out of a situation.
As we saw tonight, yeah.
I mean, he can talk. So I mean, I definitely think that Turner, if he sits in a final two chair, is going to be prepared to answer any question they're going to throw at him. I think some may throw him off. But I think in terms of anyone, I think like the jury questions that we create could throw people off. But I think Turner, Monty, and Taylor are all three people that I think would just handle those questions with composure. I mean, that's all you can do. Mm-hmm. I mean, you basically gotta go through the inner turmoil of, oh my God, they're asking me this question. What's the best answer right now? Because you don't have any time to think about it. You gotta go. Yeah. Like it's on the spot. So.
Okay, I've thought about this a lot now, Brittany. I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to play the role of Turner.
Okay.
Comedy Jonah, would you like to ask me a jury roundtable question? And I will answer as Turner.
I'm curious for this. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Joseph. Yes. And I have a question. Why did you betray me in Direfest? The alliance.
Fire. It's fire. It's fire.
Thank you for answering that.
Fire.
Truthfully.
Fire.
Truthfully.
Fire. Fire.
Thank you.
Fire.
You don't have my vote. Thank you.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Here's my thing though. Yeah. Okay.
Fire.
No fire.
Turner's weird language, right?
Fire. You know what though? Here's my thing though. I just think of the speeches that Turner's had to do.
True.
And he says that his speeches are not rehearsed. He said a couple of them have been, but then he said a couple of them haven't been. I think of his composure in speeches, and that's the only thing we really have to go by. Really, the real pressure comes when you hit that final two seat. I mean, they could hit that seat, and Turner could be like, I don't know, next question. Who knows? I mean, Monty or Taylor? I don't think Taylor would do that. Taylor's a queen at answering all questions. Yeah. But, I mean, who knows? Turner could sit there and be like, I don't know the answer, next question. Or he could just try and get around the answer. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but honestly, I do think in a Monty Turner final two, Monty wins by a sizable amount. I would say like a 7-2, 6-3, anywhere in that range.
Was Turner actually crying tonight, both of you?
Yes.
Oh.
I cried right now that you even asked that question.
Why am I disagreeing with Britney so much? Well, there was no tears.
No. Okay, okay, because I watched the live feeds.
Me too.
I was going off the live feeds, and there were tears in the live feeds.
Was there? Because I didn't see them.
Definitely. I mean, unless I was watching something else at the same time, I could have swore there were physical tears coming out of his eyes. If there wasn't, then it was fake. But I thought I saw actual tears, so that's why I'm saying it's real. If I didn't see them, it's fake.
I mean, I remember watching it live as well. I kind of don't remember the tears, but okay, if there was tears, I'm just calling it now. He stabbed himself in the eye.
Well, here's my thing. I definitely think he was frustrated.
Yes.
He was definitely frustrated. I mean, obviously, it's not great you got to think of the situation. It's not great that he had to vote out one of his best friends in the house. And then obviously you've got Britney who's like not owning up to her vote and now is painting it on Turner. And Turner was the one that was actually loyal to Taylor. So I get it can be frustrating. And now I need to rewatch that clip because if he didn't actually cry real tears, I thought he cried real tears, but I could be totally
Chad is yelling at me. Chat is yelling at me and saying there was real tears. I admit They are saying there was real tears, and I admit I have a horrible memory, so fine. Then
Okay,
I still feel like it was fake. I feel like he put it on.
I'm shocked, Eric, that you didn't know, because I know guys crying turns you on. So.
Well, I said hot guys crying turns me on.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Well, that was okay. So this is my thing. So I was right. He was crying.
He was crying.
Not that that's a good thing, because you all know I cried all the time on the show, so it's fine.
Yeah, who cares?
You know what?
It's
Because
an emotion.
emotions are real. But in
Right.
this circumstance, though, I mean, the tears came. The reason why I'm saying it was real is because in that house, your emotions are heightened. They're at day 70 something at this point. And at this point of the game, you're just done. Like, you want to play the game, you want to win the money, but you're also like, the tank is running out of gas. So the fact that Alyssa just left, he just saved Taylor, Brittany's lying. She literally just openly lied to his face. He comes upstairs. He's frustrated. I 100% believe that was real. It could just be tears out of frustration. It doesn't even have to be about anything in particular. Just the fact that he was so frustrated. I mean, I would turn that back to one of my many crying moments of me after the wild card comp after Unlucky 13. When Tiff comes to me 5 seconds before the comp, looks at me and goes, "We're going for Derek." Yes. Derek comes to me before the comp and says, "We're going for Tiff." Sure. Okay. I don't know why we're doing that, but okay. And then all of a sudden, both of them for going for me. It wasn't like I was really crying or at any of them. It was just I was frustrated with the situation because I got played. And that's just how the game goes sometimes. But
I think I tweeted out, like, when it happened, kind of just what you said. I wasn't believing that I believe the tears were real, but I wasn't believing that it was because he felt this undying loyalty to Alyssa, because we just saw for the past week him lie to her face, no problem. Just earlier that day, he was like, "I'm not visiting you in Florida. That's stupid. I'm a busy," and it like really hurt her feelings. I think he was crying because he was so frustrated, and I just sent a friend home.
Correct.
Had I voted with Britney, she would still be here. I would have that person on my side. Like, I think it was a lot of all of the emotion.
it was like
that
tack
he
it,
was
tack it, tack it, tack it, tack it, then you cry.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't really like like I said, I wouldn't say it was frustration at anything in particular. It was frustration at the fact that it was just a lot of things piling up, and then you have Britney lying on top of it, and it just was like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm the one that actually is telling the truth, and Taylor's questioning me right now because the girl's telling her that I'm lying, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely think it was real. I just think that it wasn't for any particular reason besides like frustration and maybe being mad at some people, but who knows?
How do you think Britney handled that situation with Turner as he was trying to confront her about her vote, and she was washing her hands in the sink?
I mean, less
him.
is more. Less is more in that circumstance. I mean, her next DR segment was very interesting, and she was like, "Look, I don't really have an explanation for you, Turner, because you've turned on this person and this person and this person and this person. So you're also playing a slimy game. So I'm not going to give you more ammo."
Yeah.
I don't blame her for not giving him ammo. I just wish. I mean, you really can't. I mean, you're playing Big Brother. You got to lie and you got to try and pin the.
But I think it's funny how he can call it a slimy move to try to use his friendship with Alyssa when he's done the slimiest stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like he just tosses it over his shoulder like a grain of salt. That's gone. Do you know what I mean?
But also, if you think about it, though, that's how his moves have been viewed in the game. Is you just toss them. There's no weight to the moves that Turner has done. Turner got Michael out, throw it over the shoulder. He put up Kyle, throw it over the shoulder. He's had he blindsided Amira, throw it over the shoulder. Like, his moves have although they're big, they have like very little weight. Like, no one's like, "Oh, Turner doesn't have any blood on his hands," but that's how his moves have been viewed the entire game. It's been so weird.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get Turner. I don't get why he did it. Now, a lot of people in chat, like, this was something that, we were debating, and we know, like, after the season is over and people know stuff, I always feel like we never get the real answers, because of course people learn stuff and are going to change them. But I'm curious as to what you think. Do you think if Britney would have told Turner 100%, "I am voting out Taylor," do you think Turner would have also voted out Taylor to keep Alyssa in. Like, in other words, a lot of people think that was the mistake that was made. Britney should have told Turner the truth and said, I'm voting out Taylor.
I think it definitely could have made a sway point. The only thing that I think contradicts that is that if he would have voted out Taylor, Monty would have been mad because Monty didn't want that to happen. And at the beginning of the week, Monty was saying, look, the only two people I want to keep safe this week are Taylor and Turner. And so if Turner would have turned around and been like, I'm voting out Taylor, you would have had Monty do it the next week. And so I think that would have been the only thing in the back of Turner's mind, being like, look, like, Alyssa was his best friend in the house. He doesn't really have a game relationship with Britney, but in terms of game relationships, Taylor and Monty are his two closest. So it just wasn't a smart game move for Turner, but it also would have made really mad the person that he wants to take the final two. So I could see it, but also I think that would have been in the back of his head in terms of like, do I really want to get Monty mad right now?
You mean Alyssa and Monty were his closest?
Well,
you don't really think Taylor was closer to Turner than Alyssa?
I mean game, not personal. Not personal. I mean game-wise. Like game relationships only. Because, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, Alyssa and Turner didn't start talking game until, Dire Fest? And then they, like, barely talked about game after that. So I definitely would say in terms of game, he's had the most intimate game relationship out of the five with Monty first. And then I would say with Taylor coming in second. But in terms of just the game conversation, personal relationships, obviously it's Alyssa and Monty. But I don't know. I think he would have considered it, but I don't think he would have gone through with it.
And then do we think that was smart? Because then that'd be so... I don't... See, here's the thing. When you're like, oh, I don't want to upset Monty. Well, Monty, you should have won HOH. And then, Monty, you can't play next week. So it would have been... I don't understand. Here's what enraged me about Turner that week.
Okay.
Alyssa is your personal closest friend in the house. It would be like you and Azza, or you, and Derek. The fact that it wasn't even on Turner's radar to go, you know what? Let me go to Britney and Alyssa and see, can we make a final three? Because I have eyeballs, and it seems that Taylor and Monty are getting close now, almost becoming a couple. If they're getting that close, are they going to bring me to final two? They're going to bring each other. Turner did nothing to want to help his personal friendship with Alyssa, which I don't know how he doesn't know that was stronger than anything he could have with Taylor. I agree Monty is stronger than the relationship, but I don't know why he didn't think that they would take each other. Now, that's how I felt in that week. If we are to believe what Monty's been telling us today, he's taking Turner. So I guess Turner did make the correct decision because Monty has won and Monty will take him. So if that's true, then he did the right thing. But in that moment last week, I was just like... Again, it was the needless lies. Like, you tell Alyssa that you're there for her, but meanwhile, you're just running to Monty and being like, Daddy, guess what happened? Well, I'm going to tell you everything. Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, though, I don't think he would have gone through with it, is because of the fact that the fact that, Britney tried, telling him about the flip plan, and then he immediately went to Monty and Taylor and talked to them about the flip plan. So that's why, even if Britney would have been 100% explicit and would have been like, I'm voting out Taylor, he would have ran it back and been like, Monty and Taylor, guess what would have happened? Britney's going to vote you out. And then it would have caused a couple more things to happen. But
well, no. I mean, we know that Turner made the right decision. And I really think that when he's sitting in that final two with Monty, I really think in Turner's brain and his magical language, he thinks he's going to win against Monty. And I really think, because Turner's had really bad jury management, right? I mean, a lot of this cast is really forgiving very soon, even in the interview with Julie, instead of weeks after the show's ended. Like, Alyssa's like, I still love him. I'll still give him, but I don't know if I think he thinks he really could have the votes over Monty, which is very interesting, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I also, I mean, at this point, my ideal final two is anything with Taylor in it. I don't even care who's sitting next to her at this point. I just want Taylor in that final two. I want her to take the 750. I want that girl to take AFP. I want her to take it all. I just want that girl to weigh $825,000, please. Thank you very much. Sign the check. But like, I don't know. I mean, it just, like I said, at this point, Turner's really going to have to explain his game and the logic behind a lot of moves. And the jury questions they create for him at Roundtable are going to be very, very specific for Turner. Just watch. They're not going to be vague. They're not going to be like, why do you deserve to win the $750K over the person sitting next to you? They're not going to make that question.
He wouldn't be able to answer that either. He's just going to go fire, bussin'. Disgusting.
Chameleon.
Fire.
Not no
Rug
fire.
Shack. Rug Shack. Megan.
Ring Megan.
Rug Shack. Megan. Fire. Dye my hair. I loved Turner. I loved Turner until a week and a half ago when he just enraged me over what I thought. No, I'm sorry. Ever since Dyer Fest, ever since he just sold out the cookout, was willing to go with Kyle and Alyssa.
Wait, you mean the leftovers?
Well, I mean the leftover. I do that all the time. And what do I always say? I say the lookout all the time. Leftovers. I'm losing it. Ever since he was willing to go with Kyle and Alyssa, like you were willing to keep a showmanson
that
to work
moment
with.
is one of my most, like, that moment makes me cringe more than,
Yeah.
I mean, there have been some cringy moments this season, but like that is one of the most cringe moments for me. Is like watching Joseph tell the truth and watching these three people be like, you're lying. And then Alyssa being like, I'm speaking. And Joseph being like, oh, no, I don't talk to you. Like, what is happening here? It just really made no sense. And she was like, oh, Joseph, you're a liar. And then the guy you're currently dating in the house is also a liar and has been arguably a bigger liar to you. And yet you're coming at Joseph. For what reason?
This is why Taylor needs to win, because poor Taylor, when she gets out and she finds out how all of these people, like, betrayed her, and you know her mom is such a huge fan of the show, and she is keeping all the receipts.
Oh, you know what, though? You know, I really hope that she does get to read all of them, because you know what, at this point, like, I know I can only speak for BB23, but like, we cannot wait to embrace that girl with open arms. I cannot wait to just give Taylor a hug and tell her I love her and tell her that she's amazing, and just to like to be any service that we all can be to help her navigate this new world, because it's going to be tricky, because there have been so many things said about her behind her back, the belittling, the isolation, the bullying, all of it. And then you've got there's so many things that Taylor's going to need to digest and go through. And I just hope that as people who are her fans, we can give her the grace to take time to go through those things. And it's not going to be overnight. Don't start asking her questions the day after, because none of us want questions the day after we get out the house. None of us want questions the month after we get out of the house, because we're still digesting and we're still trying to figure it out. And for Taylor, she's going to have a lot more to navigate through than the average person would. So it's just going to take, as long as we can give her the grace and the ability to have that time, to as much time as she needs to understand what actually happened.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Exactly.
And support her along the way.
I have one easy question, and then I have one very hard, serious question. Okay. I'm going to give you your first one, which is, now you said earlier that there has not been a lot of Jury House footage. Have you heard the rumor that Terrence left the Jury House after having a fight with Michael? This has been a rumor going around Twitter. Have you heard this?
Yes, I have heard the rumor.
A rumor going around. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, it would be very, very hard to like do that logistically, like to have Terrence leave the Jury House entirely. I will tell you, we stayed at the same Jury House they were in this year, where we were in the same one last year. It's big. You could 100% just separate them. and they will not be in contact with each other. But I just think that it would be, I mean, maybe for a night he went to the hotel, but also the hotel isn't close to the jury house that they're currently staying in, so that's like not convenient. I find it very hard that when because like obviously it's a bubble, right?
Right.
And you don't really want to take people in and out of the bubble as much as you possibly can. So I find it very hard. If they did take Terrence out and they put him in a hotel, it must have escalated past what my thoughts were in terms of escalation. I don't know if they took him out. I don't know. I just don't think, like, I feel like fights have happened in jury before and they haven't taken people out.
Do you think Terrence took himself out?
No, that would not be allowed. At least I don't think that would be allowed. Like,
he'd be held hostage.
You can't just say, hey, I want to leave jury house and then leave. Like, that's not an option. It's not
There's
like
a
you
contract.
Can say, there's a contract and things you
which
have to
you're
abide
probably by. Still under, Britney, so you shouldn't say any more.
Well, no. I mean, no, that I can share. No, I mean, that's fine. Honestly, no, I mean, the whole thing is like, that's like, people know that you can't leave the jury house. That's a known fact. I'm not saying anything that people don't know. There are things that I can't say, you're right, because I am still under contract, but that's something that's very known. When you get to jury, you can't leave jury.
Right. Now,
that's
Britney, I have to ask you the hard question now.
Okay.
And now you're not going to lie to your two friends, Eric and John, right?
No.
You're going to be serious.
Sure. No.
Are you spoiler girl?
No.
Okay. Well,
100%.
you convinced me. You convinced me,
No.
Britney. I thought it was you. I really thought, now you know, this is the real reason we asked you on here today. I was trying to wear you down, make you feel comfortable, and then boom, I was going to find out you was spoiler girl.
You thought I was spoiler girl?
No.
No, I'm not. Nope.
No, but I do think spoiler girl's a guy.
Do you?
Yes, because if you were going to steal something that hurts the financial income of CBS and want to remain anonymous, I think the first step in your plan would be to call yourself spoiler girl to throw them off the hunt of you being a guy.
You know, I cannot confirm or deny that statement because I have no idea who spoiler girl is.
Right, you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I legitimately do not know. I do find, I do find spoiler girl hilarious
annoying.
At points. But I also just like, I wish I just like knew the validity of their relationship. Like, that's all I want to know. I want to know like who's their connection.
Oh, you want to know what I think it is? I think it is a house guest who is friends with someone in production who, I think because they get things right, that they couldn't possibly know without a production connection.
Correct.
But then they get things wrong, or they guess things like, the HOH is going to involve water. Like, it's the stupidest, most obvious things. I think the things that they get wrong, they're getting wrong on purpose to try and make it less obvious who they are. And I think
HOH
it is a
competition. You have to breathe air.
Yes, the sky is going to be blue over the HOH house tonight.
Well, Jen in the YouTube chat says spoiler girl said there's been a hookup in the jury house. Or in the house.
Yes.
I did see that tweet.
What a great point.
Honestly, I don't know what's happening in jury. I have not been able to see anyone's dynamics because they haven't shown anything. So
because Terrence is gone. They can't show it yet.
You know, I don't even know what's happening. Regardless, jury's happening. Jury's
wait a minute now, Britney, time out. It's the same jury house that you were in. So why are you and I not in a car with a drone, and then we'll get the answer?
Because that would ruin the integrity of the game.
Oh, yeah, okay, right. So not us, but what if we separately took a drive somewhere with a drone, filmed something, left it in an undisclosed location for a fan to find and post?
Because I could not tell you how to get there.
Yeah, so...
LA is way too big. I sat in the car. I was twiddling my thumbs on that drive, and then we showed up, and I said, "How'd we get here?" And I couldn't tell you how we did.
So can I tell you something? Because I have so many stories, but I was under contract for All Stars because of Nicole. And now I think my contract's up. So I'm going to tell you one fun thing. So when she was going to the, and they had to go to be sequestered before the season started,
Yes.
they didn't take their, cell phones away from them until they got to their house. So like when she landed, she was just like, I'm just going to send you my coordinates. So I knew where her house was. I was like looking at it on Google Maps, like, ooh, that's where Nicole is. I'm like, should I just send, when the cast came out, I was like, should I just send DoorDash and tell him I'll tip him $50 if when they open the door, he just starts yelling the name of the other people on the cast? I didn't do that. I was just thinking of funny things that I could do. But it was just so funny that I was like, oh, now I know where the house is. That's fun.
I love what they got to stay in a house. That's nice.
Yeah, must be nice to be an all-star. Get paid. It's actually not nice. It's not. I can tell you why it's actually. Everyone acts like all-stars is so great, but I can tell you why it's not after. And the reason is taxes. It's different pay bracket.
Yes, I didn't know that.
You get taxed way differently, so you really don't make anything unless you get to like top 4. You just give up your whole summer for like $10,000. It doesn't really make any sense. It's very weird. It's a totally different tax bracket because you're an employee, not a contest winner. And then you have to pay California taxes. You have to pay your state taxes. You end up with like nothing.
You got to do that on the regular show too. You got to pay both.
Well, true, but I think
for me it was California and New York, and I was like, well, I'm screwed.
Well, exactly what it was. Exactly. Okay, so going in, do we really think that we believe Monty is not taking Taylor, correct? I mean, is that what we're saying? Is that what we're all in agreement on here? We think he's not going to do it.
At the moment, I don't know. I don't know. I really hope that he thinks this through and is not taking Turner just because they're bros. I really hope he really takes the time and thinks about this season and not John being like he won't. I don't know. I don't want to give an answer right now because I want to hold out. Honestly, I don't want to give an answer because I want Taylor to choose who she's picking. That's what I want to happen. Well, I'm putting that energy in the universe.
Yeah, and I want a Taylor too, but I think if Monty has to choose, he's going to pick Turner because I know he thinks he can beat Turner. He cannot beat Taylor.
But I do think But okay, right now, but here's my question though. Do you think Monty thinks that he can beat Taylor? Because I would say yes.
Yes, I agree with you that
Monty does think that he can beat Taylor in a world.
Here is what I think will happen, or here's what I think Monty's thought process is. I think, like you said, he knows both Taylor and Turner will bring him, so that's why he wants to get rid of Britney. I think he knows he has told both Turner and Taylor that he will take them. So I think his plan is to not win the final 3 competitions so that he is not the one making the choice. Therefore, he will not have either one of them mad at him. It wasn't his thing. He didn't betray anyone. I think that is what Monty will do. He will leave it up to the other person to take him.
You really think that he's going to throw the final HOH, though?
I originally said he would be the biggest idiot to put $750,000 in someone else's hands. But then I listened to what, in my opinion, only speaking for myself, a misogynistic douchebag he is, when he talked, his ego is so fucking inflated that it enrages me. And I actually think he honestly believes both of these people will take me. He can't even see any other option. It doesn't even, other options aren't even in his reality. I honestly think he believes it so strongly because of his ego that he will let one of them decide and he'll throw it.
He really thinks that Taylor, if it's just...
is in love with him.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I
Yeah.
think that's so disappointing. If, like, how is he going to have the respect of anyone if he is in a DR going, I threw the final 3 so that I didn't have to make this decision? Hopefully, if that's what he is doing, he is smart enough not to say it. Like, hopefully he just does it, keeps it a secret. Like, oh gosh, I really tried, America. Because like you say, he knows those words came out of his mouth. He knows he said, I want a black woman to win if I can't. So if he's going to say that to America, to Taylor, and then turn around and go, bye, Taylor, I don't know how he doesn't.
Julie in the YouTube chat says, then Taylor cuts Monty and takes Turner.
I would love it. Oh, I would be so happy.
You know what, though? That, I was literally just thinking about that, too. Don't tell me that conversation isn't going to happen, too, because I know for a fact Turner's going to, or not Turner. Honestly, it's probably going to be Taylor approaching with that conversation, but don't tell me it ain't going to happen. It's 100% going to happen, and that would be insane. However, I don't think Taylor's taking anyone but Monty.
No, and I don't see her not choosing between Monty and Taylor. I mean, we saw how she wouldn't put Jasmine up, being a woman of color. I think having, 2 people of color in the final 2 is something that Taylor definitely wants. And I want to. What do you think?
I mean, yes, 100%. Yeah. I think definitely she wants that. But I will also say, are we neglecting the fact that Turner is one to stab a close ally in the back every chance he gets to advance his game? And he has to know Monty would be harder for him, or I think he thinks it is harder to win against Monty than Taylor. Because Monty can say, I got Michael out. I got Britney out. Whereas Taylor can only really say, I won 2 HOHs. I did. So I think, will Turner go to Taylor and be like, Monty said he doesn't see your relationship as real. He said you're not someone he'd be with after the season. Like, will he go and throw Monty under the bus the way he's thrown everyone that he's worked with?
Man, now Monty giving Turner this ammo. You know what? Honestly, you bring up a point.
I hope he does. Please, Turner. I'll forgive you.
Oh, my God. You know what, though? Here's my thing, though, and this is my question as the rebuttal. And I could be wrong on this, but I'm actually just asking this question as, like, I need an answer. Has Turner ever stabbed Monty in the back? Ever.
Okay.
Turned on the leftovers. Yeah,
but he did that during Dire Fest, and that wasn't really to Monty.
Yeah.
Like, he never was really turning his back on Monty. You see what I'm saying here? Like, he's yeah.
Right.
But that's
pound together and all of that. Yeah.
And I agree with you. That's my point. He's never stabbed Monty in the back. But if you look at it, he didn't, go against Kyle until it benefited his game. He didn't go against Alyssa until it benefited his game. He goes against the person once it benefits his game. And here's the thing. There's no more game, Turner. You're literally at the end. So are you gonna take out the person you know you can't win against? Or not. And the thing is, there is part of me that thinks Turner would, because he's done it to everyone else all season.
I'm not neglecting that he wouldn't. Honestly, that's why it's so crucial, though, to that's why I don't see Monty throwing this final HOH, though, is because I feel like it's just like, you need to get there. Like, you need to get there. Yeah. And at this point, I don't see that either. If you map out in terms of question competitions, Turner and Taylor are like neck and neck for question competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so it really is gonna I really think that Monty or Taylor are gonna take part 1. I am praying to the good Lord above that part 1 is the spinny disc. I want that so bad, like they did in All Stars in 22, because Taylor's gonna win it if it's spinny disc. Monty's gonna fall. Turner's going to fall at some point. Taylor's going to stay up there like she did in the wall. She's going to hug the rope. She's going to be like, la-da-da-da-da. She's going to stay up there. She's going to win that part. And then Monty and Turner can do whatever they want to do on part 2, and then my girl going to win it on part 3. That's what needs to happen, regardless. I don't know. Taylor needs to win part 1.
I agree.
I don't
I
care
agree.
who wins part 2, but I think Taylor's got an amazing shot at beating Monty and Fisco.
Oh,
I do.
amazing.
You do? I mean, I hope that you're right. Lord knows I hope you're right. I will
think
say...
about it though on the wall. Think about the fact. I mean, think about the wall and think like because there are some competitions in Big Brother that just favor a smaller build.
I agree with you. People don't like when I say this, but I feel like they threw the wall to Taylor. I don't think anyone and I'm not saying Taylor didn't win it and didn't stay up there and did great.
Who threw the wall?
I just think it was the shortest wall in Big Brother history, and none of those people wanted HOH that week. Like, Joseph didn't want it. Kyle only wanted it to have the room to have sex with Alyssa. And I think most of those people admitted they threw it. And like, for some reason, that's like the worst thing. I'm a huge Taylor fan. I'm just saying, she was up there for 20 minutes. The people were like diving off the wall not to win.
Well, no, I remember she was up there. I think it was like 47, but I know
Was
all
it
of us
40?
it was 47 minutes.
Yeah.
But I questioned it because in my season, that would have meant that Kyland would have been on the wall when she fell. So it would have been Kyland, myself, Xavier, Derek, Alyssa, Tiff, Azza.
Yeah,
because
it was
Kyland,
the shortest one.
Kyland fell at like 57 minutes. I lasted an hour 5, which was shocking because I don't have the body type for a wall. Body type for the wall is very small, very petite. That's how you do better on the wall. And obviously, as y'all know, we have muscle, but I'm also not stick thin. Never said I had to be. I'm just not. And so I was like, well, I was looking at Alyssa, and Alyssa's holding 100 pounds next to me, and I'm holding 165, and I'm like, oh my God. And like, it's just how much more weight you have to hold. But that's also the same concept on the spinning disc, is it's how much more weight you have to hold. Mm-hmm. On any comp, it's going to be how much weight you have to hold. So
I would like to see them in the like marionette one almost more than the spinny disc one, because I think Monty would fall on that one so much easier than Taylor. Because I think spinny disc might favor Turner too.
Well, Turner did good on the wall. I mean, he fell because he was tired, but like he did good on the wall. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
And then
marionette could be funny though.
The other thing that scares me is all the comps have been different this season, or they have brought back nostalgic ones. Mm-hmm. So, like, the way that they did Days this year was so different than they normally do it. I'm afraid, is the 3-part finale gonna be as simple and cut and dry as it was in the past? Or is it gonna be like Days, but with math? Or, like, is it going to be spin on a disc while fans shoot paintballs at your head? Like, we don't know.
No more math. No more math.
Yeah, no more math, Big Brother. Like, I don't ever need math in Big Brother. Stop it. Although, what?
I don't know. I'm excited now for this final, like, the final HOH.
No, I'm excited too.
I always love the comps, but I don't care what they pick. I just want Taylor to have an edge.
Well, we all do.
Not me being biased. I just want Taylor to have a competition where she can showcase her talents, regardless of how she does.
I mean, the one good thing that I will say about Taylor, and I think we can all agree about this, one of the many good things we can say about Taylor is, regardless of if she wins or loses this game, she is going to come out with the most love. She's definitely getting a Lay's contract.
Yes.
She's probably getting a Chipotle green-black card, the thing that gives you the free Chipotle for life. She's getting all the deals, she is going to come out and she's going to be offered the challenge. She is.
Oh, yeah.
She has nothing to worry about.
Nope.
She is going to be set up perfectly.
Yep, yes, she will.
So I think that is going to be the good thing that happens for her. Now, speaking of, I saw people in chat said, Britney, how excited are you for Derek and Claire on Amazing Race?
Oh my gosh, I was just with them the last weekend. Oh my God, I'm so excited for them. You know what? When we found out they were going on, it was so exciting. And I was literally so pumped. I was like, they both would be so good at this, but for such different reasons. So I really am excited to like, because as a team, like obviously I've been able to talk to them a little bit, not a ton, because they obviously there's a lot of things they can't share yet. But I love like just they get really really excited when they talk about the Amazing Race, and they get really giddy, and I'm really really excited to watch them. But like they also have different strengths and different weaknesses, so I'm like, and they mesh perfectly together, which is going to be very interesting to watch. I'm very excited.
They
You want
seem
my
like one of those
prediction?
little couples where they're like, oh, honey, I'll do that. Like one of
Well,
those.
they definitely aren't that kind of a couple. They're
Okay.
very like, but they're very realistic. They're like, look, like they basically were
They're
like
New Yorkers, John. You thought that's how they are?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely think I mean, I know Diox and Claire, they went in prepared. They knew exactly what they needed to do in terms of strategy. They knew in terms of like challenges, in terms of who's going to take what. So I mean, I'm just excited to see this teamwork go into place because I think they're very much like, let's get it done. So like like they're very quick on their feet.
Here's my prediction. They're going to win because every time they take the Big Brother teams over to Amazing Race, they always win. And I'm not saying that's because of whatever reason. I'm just saying it's in CBS' best interest for the Big Brother teams to win when they piggyback it on to the end of Big Brother. So I'm just saying, mark my words, I'm calling it they win.
Are you
I hope they
spoiler
do.
girl, Eric? Are you?
I know,
spoiler
Eric,
girl?
you spoiler girl.
That
I
sounded
mean,
very
seriously,
spoiler
are you?
girlish. Yeah. Right, Brittany?
Look,
Right?
all I know is we did a show, and I believe it got removed from YouTube a few years ago, and it's where I interviewed like Brendan, Rachel, and all the Amazing Race people about the show, and you know how, in their opinion, it might be rigged. And I agree, and I think it is a competition where production pushes through the people they want to win more so than the people that are actually doing well. It's Eric's conspiracy based on the
I
things
have
that
no
people
way
have
to
told
confirm
me.
or deny that.
No,
thing
you
that I've never
couldn't. How
got.
could you?
I have no
How
way.
could
But
you?
I am just wishing them the absolute best, and I
Me
cannot
too.
wait to watch them.
And I'm going to follow you right now, Eric, spoiler girl.
Yes, thank you. No, I would say don't spoil me. Don't follow me. I am spoiler girl, and unfollow me if you're following me.
Unfollow me if you're following
if you're following. Now, Brittany, before we let you go, you need to tell people where they can find you, which, you know, I have heard lately is, or I've seen lately, is places like Good Morning America, Delta Airlines lobbies, all over. Brittany, what are you doing?
I'm living life.
Yeah.
So in terms of where you can find me, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Twitter is just Brittany D'Angelo. Spell it out, no underscore. Instagram and TikTok is Brittany_D'Angelo. And if you want to get a good laugh in your day today, a good laugh to end your night, if you go to my Instagram or TikTok, there's a video of me dancing at an airport. It will give you a lot of laughs, and I do drop a split. So it's a pretty good time.
And it made Good Morning America, and it made all these morning talk shows. And yeah, it is Brittany being the Brittany that we love and getting upgraded.
Thank you.
Gotta love it.
No, it was super, super fun. But no, I'm very, very thankful. It's actually been really cool. My our I don't call people fans, I call them family because I find fans to be very distant and I find family to be very inclusive. Our family just ended up raising $12,000 for Give Kids the World over the last 2 months.
I love it.
So,
we call them friends for the same reason.
Oh, I love that. No,
Isn't a fan weird?
A fan is very weird. They're called we call them the fam. But our family name is called Brittany's Butterflies. That's what we're called.
Oh, I love it, Brittany. Well, that's great. $12,000. My goodness.
Amazing.
And it was all them. It was all them.
And now John would like to make a donation on behalf of us. John?
I'm going to 12 cents to every...
I'll make it $1, Brittany. I will donate all the money we make on YouTube for this episode. So that'll probably be, if I'm rounding it up to me, let's get spicy. $2? $2.
So,
Hey, you know what?
yours,
It's for the kids.
all yours.
No,
for the
it is,
kids.
and we do it is the best. You know, they do so much work. We have done shows and podcasts with them explaining it. So if you guys don't know what Give Kids the World is, check out our shows that we have done on it. There is always people you can donate. Usually all the Big Brother people do it. You can donate through them. Go to Britney, donate through Britney.
Yeah, their link.
I'll put the link below this video where you guys are watching.
My link is also right, and if you go to any of my socials, my Linktree link, it's still the top box. I'm just going to keep it up there until December. It just says Hearts of Reality fundraiser. It's my top box.
Perfect.
But no, it's been crazy. My goal was $2,500, and then we kept going and going and going. And it takes $6,000 to fund a child and their family to go to Give Kids the World, like in full. So we are sending 2 full families.
That's so amazing.
I'm so excited.
Amazing.
We're gonna like send them Britney's Butterflies merch, and I like hopefully can like fly down and meet the families. We're gonna try and see if we can get that coordinated, but I would love to do that.
Oh, I love that, Brittany. Well, you guys, like I said, you can get the link directly from Brittany's socials. I will put the links to Brittany's socials below this video. I will put the link below this video on YouTube. And we hope that you guys donate because it is an amazing, amazing cause. John, Brittany, John, any final thoughts?
No, like we talked about, I'm just super excited to see what's going on in that jury house. Oh,
I literally wish I could be a fly on the wall. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that jury house right now.
I wish I could as well. Well,
Because
Brittany,
all
thank
flies
you.
in that jury house.
We are
No,
all. Well,
no. I'm saying there were actual flies in the jury house.
Oh. Well,
But
look,
no ants. But no ants.
Sure. Yeah, I got jury house stories too. Anyway, that's a thing for another day. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.